Okay, Wednesday the 23rd. Yay. Oh, the show is warming up. It's getting ready to come on. See the big announcement last night? Of course, and I'm talking about, Trump at the moment. Not that I ever really waste time talking about politics, but just wanting to throw back out there what we were talking about on earlier videos when we were discussing the show revving up after Christmas and the transition of power and the fight to, of course, show the election fraud, which, by the way, I listened to a little bit of what Trump was saying on Brian from High Impact Flicks and Flogs broadcast. And he's speaking truths about what occurred visually, credibly, with mass evidence of the election results, being thwarted and fixed at the end. So that's, of course, one of the ways you sell the lie is to sell the truth with it, because that speech, I didn't hear one thing he said that I didn't already have an understanding had occurred. Maybe some of the littler details of this state and that state and the time and shit, but that is where people will fall into the trap of thinking, because, this left and Biden and the entirety of what he wants to do when he comes in, when it comes to this bullshit, virus, the lockdown for the virus, is quite scary to a lot of people. So Trump would be perceived as the good guy, which, again, I understand the thinking if you're caught in the mindset that government is here to help. And that comes from not bringing in the truths about what is going on around us. So, did you have a paradigm shift? Are you in the middle of one? Did you have an awakening in consciousness and awareness about what is going on? If you are someone that was caught in the mind trap of the, genuine narrative going around about everything that's going on the past 8 months, and you really think that, in some detail, there is still a true thing to be scared of out there that you need to mask up or social distance or vaccinate from, and that, you don't want it, you don't think it's that big of a deal and it's a flu or whatever you come up with, but that bringing in Trump is going to stop all of that from coming in. Are you in the mindset that that's not true? Because it's not true. Whether he comes in or the wackadoodle old man that got his vaccine on the day of the solstice at 3:22 in the afternoon, comes in. And the realization of that is scary to most people, because they want and need that external savior. They don't want to face the fact that the bankers aren't going away. The crooked scum that's all around the presidency and governments of all countries aren't going away. They're all part of one unit that has triggered this globally through the corporations, governments, local towns, nonsensical narratives, nonsensical even in plain view. Like, just put on any sporting event and watch people with masks interact with people without masks, and then people would take them down, and it's all so ridiculous. To think that let's take, for instance, waiting in line at a restaurant. I'm waiting in line. Now I walk to my seat. Now I can take it off. Now the virus was coming. It was on its way. It was chasing you. And then you sat down and got to take the mask off. The virus said, shit. He made it to the fucking table. Next time, let's go. Retreat, guys. Let's go retreat. Come on. Coronaviruses are all fucking, so fucking retarded that, it's right in front of your face. So has that shift occurred in many people? I don't know. It's any different. Could be. I mean, the inner peace that one might seek from such, and alignment. I like calling it the conjunction, or the convergence, actually. You know, from the Thor movie. It's the same fucking thing, same idea. But, you know, understanding the energies of the universe and then bringing that within and using meditation to renew and rejuvenate oneself, to reconnect, to then go out there and spread and manifest the truth individually, great. And then that grows collectively, great. That would be a paradigm shift. That would be changing the current paradigm in which it's moving now. Total fucking lockdown, surveilled slavery, owned more than we are now, to a different possibility based on our actions in the world. And those actions don't need to in any way include even protests. They definitely don't include violence. They don't include none of it. They include non-compliance with your own fucking slavery. Non-compliance with putting a mask on because you've had an awakening and awareness, a paradigm shift within, and realized, oh my God, there is lots of not only common sense available here as to why this would be unhealthy to wear, but lots of other meaningful, credible evidence out there to research myself and come to that conclusion. Hey, wait a minute. This new superhero of a shot they want to give is 8 months, according to their own admittance and our common sense of how this came about, right? Of what we're being told. 8 months to come up with a brand new way a vaccine even works, you know? And you don't think you have the right to go, I'm going to think about that. No. You know, again, the realization of what social distancing is doing to the young, masks are doing to the young in schools. I'm sure they're learning lots of social skills, right? They're learning, everyone's fucking dangerous, and I am just another face, just another set of eyes in the world to wait to be told what to do and directed by my mommy and daddy. No, I'm not. I'm 17, now I'm 25, now I'm 35, and I'm still walking around like this. You know, that's what they want. And they've done it by way of social engineering, many generations of us, you know. But the ultimate control lies within this bullshit. And the show is going to go on. The division, of course, being caused this week, where you want to be in a state of happiness and oneness and wholeness, and all the people are talking about raising your vibration. That would be happen when, hey, I'm going to get on now and challenge all the things from the election today, 2 days before Christmas, so that when you get together the next couple of days, those that do, those that don't have crazy families like mine, that won't get together because you're scared of the virus, or scared of what I'm going to say at the table, which I think is more the truth, so that it causes arguments amongst the relatives getting together. Wow, what good timing. You know what? It's just a fucking coincidence. Tell yourself that. It's just a coincidence. You know, again, being brainwashed, people think it's like cartoons and shit. It's having your perceptions formed for you. That's what being brainwashed is. It's very easy to see how this is moving, of course, you know. And then we move into the next month, as they've already started with the British lockdowns and the new fucking mutant, fucking, you know, hybrid changed fucking virus floating around over there. The new strain that we've all been saying, you know, is going to manifest when they need to lock down again. And of course, what's all really coming, you know, is the economic reset. Klaus Schwab. The institution needs to take the pre-corona ideas and manifest them through this amazing yet horrible set of circumstances that we have been given with this coronavirus. You listen to that guy, man, you need some heavy meds. Make them nature's meds, will you? Jesus God. You know, you want to hear something funny, because, like I said, I laugh every day, always have. Even through my worst depressive years of suffering, you know, traumas in my life, I still laugh. It's necessary. You know, a friend of mine used to say, still does, a day without laughs and you're getting cheated, you know. It's the absolute fucking truth. And I laugh at everything, everyone, make fun of everything and everyone, because it's funny, you know. To quote fucking Tony Stark, you know, when he says, everything a joke to you? Tony says, funny things are. That's correct. Funny things are. And I'm coming through, and I'll put up the old footage that I had of that tree that came across the path that one day. And then I think it was last time I was out, or second video back, I showed that they had cleared it. I didn't really talk about it, but I showed they had cleared the path, right? Well, I found out they cleared the path. Two dudes were coming around. There's a big curve right before that fucking tree. If you're coming from the one way, you see it a mile away, but if you're coming from the other way, you don't. And there's even older footage, if I can find it, where the tree was up higher and you could ride your bike under it, you know, kind of give a little squirt down with your head. But when I showed it last time, it was up to here, you know, it had significantly dropped. And a dude came around the corner on his bike and, you know, hit the fucking skid out brakes and stopped too early and came up and got stuck, you know. Well, his buddy, like a cartoon, just punk right into this fucking thing. Now, they're fine, you know, which is what makes it funny. And if they were messed up, you'd wait until they were better, and then it would be funny then, you know, because it's funny. Oh, my God, I laughed. I wish I could have seen that, you know. Made sure everybody was okay, then I would have pissed myself. Oh, my God. But, anyway, I thought I would share that. Because, like I said, this is so dumb. I mean, what this past few days have done for me, I for some reason, I'm just in a really good mood. Despite all the bullshit. Sick of it, I can't stand it. James Corbett did a great breakdown of the future of vaccines today. My wife watched it. You know, it's a time. So I was saying to my son earlier, I was dropping him off on the way over here to buddies. All without masks. See, nobody's allowed around us. If they wear masks, I don't play that fucking game, you know. So I was saying to him, you know, this is the time, you know, right now, because even the shit that's happened already, as fucked up as it is, and yes, I do talk to my son that way. You know, he's 14, almost 15, and I'm raising men and women, not boys and girls. But as fucked up as all as it's been, this time now is so significant because of the different variables that come with it. You know, you have people that are now heavily going to be intruded upon who not only wouldn't want the fucking thing anyway, but they're just going along and they're wearing their shit and they're trying to go along to get along. But now you want to fucking stick people with questionable shit. Even people that get their normal shots are going, whoa. So this is going to be the most head-turning, most head-rising period of the cusp of manifesting what they want to manifest. Because in order to manifest it, in order to do it, they have to fucking manifest it. And then we have to go along with it with enough momentum for them where enough do it. And then those that don't are just thrown by the wayside or ridiculed or taken care of, where we want the opposite. We want a paradigm shift. We want to change the momentum that is currently occurring. And we want to bring people around to saying, no, bullshit. And if you want it, go get it. But you don't have the fucking right to make someone else do anything. It's common fucking sense. And going back to my love for the leadership of a dancing guy concept, I'll put it up with this again. I know I've put it up many times over the years, but people need to see, people, to some encourage, people actually need to see it, you know. And I've learned that throughout my life because I've always had courage to speak out no matter what. I really don't have a filter, and what's right is right, and I really don't give a fuck what you think. I can politic and sugarcoat my words, but I don't do it for what is right, you know. When it comes to what is right, it bluntly, this is right. That's why, because this is right and just. And that's that, you know. But a lot of people, because that comes with a price, at their job, in their circle of friends, in their family, in their own mind, this isolation from other people, that, you know, this penalty of being dangerous, because everyone else is caught in what their loss would be if it's work, their paycheck, or a suspension, or a lunch with the boss, or, you know, so you don't get that fucking next great assignment. It goes to somebody the fuck else, or you know, a friendship that you've had that you don't want to rattle. So, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, you know, you're being isolated and they're not returning your calls. These kinds of insecurities that people have about themselves because of their ego and their need to collectively fit in, it's hard for them, you know, harder for them, for people that, you know, I think know themselves, have lived through enough bullshit to know who the people they want in their lives, and the rest of them can go fucking pound sand. And not because you're some kind of jerk off or bitch, but because those people don't have moral values. They don't understand right from wrong, and I don't need to be around it. And even over the past years of trying to get people to pull them out of the brainwashing, these boundaries now that, you know, affect, like, that fear in them is holy shit, because they can't take the time to even fathom what stepping over that line takes, because they're in such states of ignorance and fear. You know, you can't, first of all, you can't bottle it. Let's start there. You can't bottle that. So this is a time for them where people like myself, and there's many like me, and I know many, well, I know quite a few as opposed to the many I thought. But in the end, we really don't know, because I have known many of the people for over 3 decades. And throughout our lives together, they've always stood by what's right. I don't know about their jobs and shit like that, but, you know, always at a time, you know, when it's occurred in my presence. However, that brings us to the point. Again, not being able to bottle that means if you display the courage necessary in front of people, and the people inside themselves know it's right, because people do. They know what's fucking right. They just don't have the fucking balls half the time to fucking say things because of what that cost might be in the end, you know. But under something like this, where they really don't want to do something like this, but could not muster that courage to see other people do it and, you know, speak the same things that they want to speak but are afraid of, it encourages other people to step in, even as those followers, even as a follower. But if you're a follower of truth, and you can understand how to, like, if all of a sudden that person says, you know, and we should, you know, burn everything down, and you go, wait a minute, you know, having the common sense to understand that you know your own truth, that you have looked into yourself, which has to be the truth. We're not talking about your truth and my truth. We're talking about your time dedicated to researching and understanding the truth, and then your ability to perceive based on what you have taken the time to learn as the truth, you know. And if you're leaning towards some kind of external blame of, you know, a government or you know, a party line or a religion or a race or a gender, you haven't fully awoken. You may have awoken to the symptoms of the problems, but you haven't awoken to the understanding that we're doing this to ourselves. And that by complying with all this bullshit, it just solidifies how we got here. Because most people have complied with all of the bullshit all of their lives, but didn't really affect them. Let me just go along to get along. It's not really affecting me. And then that fucking grows and it grows. And people like me who, a lot of the things I've stuck my big mouth into, nothing to do with me. I could have just sat there and fucking either sipped my beer, or whether I was at work, went about my business. But they weren't fucking right. So I speak. And then, of course, I think, like I said, encourages others. And it does. I've seen it in my life. You know, the people in my life that are in my life, they all display that characteristic. But, you know, when you're at places of business, I've seen through my careers, people want that. And they'll back you until they start to get picked off with their own consequences. So that's what happens when people don't come together. And they're afraid of losing the illusory physicality things, physical things they think they have in this world that are theirs under the state of feudalism that they fucking live in. number one, the state of slavery that they fucking live in, number two, and the state of ignorance that they live in. They think they have stuff. You don't have knowledge, you don't have fucking anything. And I'm not saying I fucking know every detail of every fucking thing, but it's very clear when you come from a foundation of morality, what is right and wrong, you know? And this whole thing is intrusive and wrong because it causes harm to others. You don't have the right to do that. So, again, taking all of these common sense things together in people's heads, once they start to see people do it, you're either going to have that momentum shift, you're going to have the leadership from a dancing guy effect take place, and you're going to have a second follower and a third follower and a fourth, and that will grow, which is the nightmare for this entire thing that the system doesn't want, because that is the way out. The collective non-compliance in great numbers of people not only partaking in what they're doing, but the jobs that they're facilitating. If you're a teacher and you're teaching kids in masks and you're wearing a mask, doesn't matter if you don't like it, if you know it's bullshit, if you think it's stupid. If you're doing that, you're perpetuating in the manifestation of it. But if the whole fucking school stopped teaching and all the parents stopped sending their kids because, wait, collectively, we know this is bullshit, the brakes come on with what they're trying to bring in, because they need our cooperation to do it, or at least a divisive mechanism to get enough people to cooperate. And the reality of it is, most people do realize this is fucking nonsense, and they just need to see people not afraid to unequivocally say, this is fucking bullshit and I am not fucking doing it. Those of us that have been saying it, those of us that are strong enough, well, you know what? We've been taking fucking consequences our whole life. We're still here, like Elton John, you know, I'm still standing, yeah, you know, fucking, fuck it, man. Because if people don't see us and we start to cave because we're these little fraidy cats of losing things that, again, are illusory to fucking begin with, then this species has no hope. And if they do have any, it's in the far distant ass motherfucking future, where, you know, some generations of kids, like in these fucking movies they put out, are gonna finally eventually stand up and say no, because if we continue down this road, man, people don't want to conceptualize how fucked up this is, but you're talking about tracking and tracing everybody. You're talking about GPS and everybody. You're talking about access to the body, the brain waves, the emotions, the thoughts. You're talking about, you know, telling everyone around you that I don't own myself. I turn myself over. I am a slave. Yes, stick me, mask me, follow me, do whatever you need to do. Just let me live. And if you can't see that that would be what you came here to learn, what you came here to let go of, yet you're, I don't know, a religious person, and you can't see that that's the same thing, whether you're a, you know, more modern reader of philosophy, and you can see, hey, wait, this is the same thing they were talking about in ancient times, or more recently, you know. Hey, wait, if you're a, you know, whatever, a movie watcher, a book reader, it's in everything, because that's who we are. That's why that stuff stirs up inside of us. That's why we can get emotional like that. We can feel and empathize what it's like to be in that situation. It's what epigenetics, part of epigenetics does. It triggers emotions, feelings, thoughts, based on the environmental, you know, surroundings. These people know that. So if you can pull your fucking self out of the damn fear and realize living free is the only way to live, or it ain't fucking worth doing. We've learned that, I don't know, all our lives. So what the fuck makes it different now? Why do you think now you don't have to stand up for it? When every great tale you've ever heard, that's what everyone's ever fucking done. But you don't have to step up for it and stand up for it, but you deserve to have it. You know? And if you lose this very short, brief experience we call a physical life here as a human, over it, and die free mentally, you don't think that's overcoming fear? You don't think that's the story of Jesus? That's the story of, you know, every religious and ideological, you know, or heroic tale ever told? You know, then you really haven't learned. But there's time. Just like it says, you can save yourself at the last minute. And it's not by going, I believe, I believe, I believe. It's by doing, by saying no, by being part of the manifestation of freedom and the standing up for, the non-cooperation with the enslavement of yourself or others. See, the or others part. Everybody waits till it's knocking at their front door. So, all right, anyway, coming up on 25 minutes, I like to keep it there. Just think about what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be a dick, man, but, man, they have emasculated this entire fucking planet. And we're not talking about gender here. We're talking about the external behavior of people, men and women. It's all about subjugation, going along to get along, safety, and fear. Boom, now they strike. Well, show them that's not who you are. And how dare they, Anyway, I probably won't do one before the holiday. Maybe I will. Who knows? Whatever strikes me. But I hope everyone has an eventful one. If you try to talk to people, if you don't fucking listen to anybody and don't go places because, you think you, like my family's doing, I don't mean my immediate family, my immediate family in my home, we're all fine. It's the rest of my family, parents, siblings, people like that are living in fear of this and allowing the government to tell them, nah, you shouldn't want to see your kids and grandkids. Nope. Shouldn't want to see, your other daughters or whatever that aren't local to your house because it's dangerous. And again, I feel sorry for it, but I don't emotionally, because this line is a real line. You can't follow the truth and perpetuate the lie. It doesn't work. So, it's just, that's where we're at in this. We've been doing that for years. Now where we are, can't be done anymore. So I pray that people wake up, and I will stand at anyone's side who truly wakes up, no matter how asleep they were. But I won't perpetuate this lie for anyone, to appease anyone, and neither should you. Love you guys. Get learning, get speaking. I rarely do this. If I forget something, I forget something. But there was something I wanted to say that I forgot to. And I figured I could also show you how fucked up the sky is at the same time. When it comes to understanding the energies of the solstice and realizing what you're seeing, and I'm not really talking about the alignment that marks something different with energy, but the solstice allegorically and physically really having its origins in the fact that the sun sets on that day at its lowest point and remains there for 3 days before it begins to rise again to bring longer days throughout the rest of the year. And these understandings were necessary to harvest crops and know when to plant and things like that. But they were also turned into different forms of astrotheology where moral stories, allegories, parables were told, using the sun as that source, as that savior, the source at which, if it was not there every day, we would not be here. Later to be, referred to as the light, meaning the knowledge, the truth. As Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the light. Because they were, after being astrotheologically defined and told as stories in the ancient past, they were then turned into religious stories. And these things have dual meaning. It depends, again, on the perception. And understanding both perceptions as to which the light and dark both pertain when it comes to this time of year, the solstice, and then adding in the alignment or convergence of Jupiter and Saturn, which being as rare as it is, also being a part of this year's solstice. Understand the timing you are seeing all of this occur is not haphazard. The ushering in of a new day, a new dawn, a new age, a new world order, a great reset, coinciding with the alignment or convergence of Saturn and Jupiter, along with the solstice signifying the death and rebirth These people see themselves as God, as the knowledge makers, as the law makers. They're looking to usurp the creator and creation and become that themselves by arbitrating over you see. And this is the control that they have tried to hold on and have held on to since forever, that we're aware of our existence. So understanding the other side, whether it's from a religious factor or from, an astrotheological understanding of, Nordic traditions or Greek traditions or Roman traditions or whatever the hell you want to look at it, understand that light signifying the rebirth of knowledge. If taken in that knowledge and then externally manifested is the rebirth of truth and the path to change the civilization these maniacs want to bring in. So whether or not you think this is their dark time that they're doing and they're, or you see it as an understanding of basic astrology, or you have a religious understanding of the, birth and or death and rebirth of truth, the peeling away of the illusion and the stepping into truth by the taking in of knowledge and then creating that path for others, the way, the truth, and the light. And you attribute that to Jesus. Just understand he's not coming. He's explained to you what you need to do to manifest that, and that we can be way better than he ever could because there's a hell of a lot more of us. There's only one of him back then trying to explain these concepts, and was all co-opted later by the church and repackaged and sent out with external saviors and worship, which of course they themselves usurp. So I just wanted to explain that while I was there walking, but it had slipped my mind, and then I was going to say the hell with it, but I don't know when I'll be back out, and it's pertaining to now. And then I saw that, and I figured, yeah, let's show everybody how polluted they love the earth, dumping all that shit. We have a rainstorm coming, so can't let it be natural and just be cold and be snow. It's got to be warm and sprayed and fucked with. Anyway, just understand that knowledge is knowledge. It's the perception of that knowledge and the use of that knowledge that makes it good or evil. And these people understand that are running the world. So take the knowledge back. Don't be afraid of it. Take it in and become the truth to their lie. It's the only way. Anyway, again, love you guys. Get learning, get speaking.